Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of Exponential Potential. And we have got some really juicy content over the next few episodes. We really wanted to dive in into the concepts of being stuck and procrastination. Yeah. so it's like, we do actually feel that ourselves. I know that we present as like really positive and full energy, but we're all human beings here. And I am delighted to spend time with my co-host, Jen. Hi, Jennifer Evans, aka ZenJen. And this is a real specialist topic for you. It's probably a mastermind topic for you, isn't it? Around being stuck and procrastination and what that looks like.
Yes, it's great to be here too. As always, we love our conversations and we love sharing our experiences, our knowledge, and what we've found that actually works. Yes, stuck and procrastination, stuck especially. So before we dive in, I just talk about the differences between procrastination and stuck, because they are slightly different.
Yeah.
So for me anyway, it could be different for anybody, but this is how I see procrastination, and I'd be interested to see how you see it as well. So for me, procrastination is putting something off. So a task or, for example, going to the gym, or signing up for the gym, or even signing up for a coach, and a life coach or a leadership coach, or putting your accounts off, the tax, having to do our taxes. It's like, oh God, I've got to do it. We just put it off till the very last minute. So that's the sort of thing. Signing up for a yoga class, sort of, you've got one thing to do, but you keep putting it off. For example, my partner is a musician, and he also makes guitars. He builds incredible steel resonator guitars. Just a little plug there. And he's really good at it. Like, he's really handy, but he's putting off the recording to record and put his guitars out there. So he's procrastinating around that. If he does it for a long period of time, he then becomes stuck. So for me, something that's stuck is something that's a pattern that keeps repeating, that is keeping you stuck in a rut, that's keeping you on that hamster wheel. For example, you might be stuck in a relationship. And it's very, you're sort of stuck in a comfort zone as well. You have that inner knowing, or that sense of knowing that there's something better and something more for you, but you just stay there, and it feels frustrating. And it can create anxiety as well, and a lot of overwhelm when you're consistently stuck in a situation. So you could be stuck in your business, you could be stuck in your career. So that's the sort of definition, that how I see the difference between procrastination and stuck. Anything that you want to add to that, Claire?
So I think procrastination, it certainly feels like a temporary state of mind, state of being. And I can definitely identify with the being stuck, and kind of sometimes you can be stuck in a pattern, can't you? And you know that it's gonna happen. And procrastination, and I really want to get into both elements, but kind of how you can tell the difference of where you are. But sometimes procrastination can be really positive. Sometimes, and particularly around this concept of manifestation, it's just like, maybe just not now. And we spend so much time trying to push and control and force. We don't necessarily have all the information that we need at hand. And so for some reason, it kind of goes down the priority level, and then the key piece of data comes in, you go, okay.
Yes, exactly. Because if we don't have the right, there's a piece missing. We might not have the right knowledge. We might, if we want to create ease and flow, this is, yes, you can push and make it hard and struggle and keep beating yourself up and judging it because you haven't done it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing with procrastination, isn't it? When we think, oh, I can't, I really have to do that. I really should do that. I really need to do that. Well, it's the shoulds, isn't it? The shoulds. I should do that. I should do that. I should do that. Candy Barone, who has been a guest on our show at the beginning, she calls it shoulding all over yourself. Which I love. So we beat ourselves up for not doing something when we think we should. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes the timing isn't right. It might be that we need a skill set. It might be that we need to meet or talk to somebody. It might be that we need to have some knowledge around it, or the timing in that it's not aligned. So if you waited a few months, something even better shows up. Yeah. And that's the same. Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. So yes, it's the perspective of procrastination. And I find actually I've always left things to the last minute. And that's okay if you're not putting pressure on yourself to get it done. Because I like the energy of that sometimes, not always, but sometimes I like the energy of okay, I'm going to get this done because it needs to be done by tomorrow. And it's the energy of that can actually be uplifting and get you going.
There's the danger we completely reject all traditional coaching. But the older I get, the more experience I get with people, the more I understand myself, the more I understand how my brain operates. Mm-hmm. And how complex and beautiful and how much data and how many connections are going on in my brain at any one point, the more I realize that actually procrastination sometimes allows your subconscious to come forward to kind of really thrive, and it can be a beautiful activity. And we talked about kind of the universal and spiritual elements around synchronicities and how those might line up, whether it's the information, whether it's the people or the opportunity. Although we wouldn't encourage procrastination necessarily. No, not everyone does it.
It is an opportunity to get conscious with the subconscious. And to get into your inner narrative and understand what your inner narrative is, and then go and look at that and go, well, isn't that actually true? Yeah. And I did the same with Dom. I mean, I don't coach him because it's not my job, but sometimes I'll ask him, do you want assistance with this? Do you want to see what's the underneath of this? What's going on? Why are you stuck? Or why are you procrastinating in this particular instant? I mean, he'll be like, yes. Or no, but a lot of the time it's a yes, because he wants to move forward. He wants to get over that obstacle as he sees it. So it's an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to realize the inner narrative, the subconscious thoughts that you have, to shine the light on those and go, well, actually, and write them down or talk about them and go, well, is that true? Well, no, of course it's not true. Or what's on the other side of that? If you do that, if you do put your guitars out there, if you record your music and then post them on Instagram or wherever, what's the upshot of that? What's on the other side? And I find with procrastination as well, and I think I used to be like it as a kid, homework. Hated homework. I mean, most of us did, and that would always be last minute, but I would always be constantly worrying about it, be on my mind. But then how do you feel once it's done?
You feel amazing.
Or
like relieved.
The very first video I did on Facebook, I was like, oh my god, and I put it off and I put it off and I put it off, and then I did it, and the feeling was like, I did it. So it gave me so much more confidence because I did it. So it's a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of confidence. And then as you practice, you get more confidence and you do more, which links in nicely to our last theme, which is all about confidence.
Yeah.
So it helps you, you know, when you look at how are you feeling on the other side of that, and what will you gain by doing what you need to do, or what. And I think what the hardest thing around procrastination is to determine whether it's you that's getting in the way, or if it is a timing thing. Is this the right time, or is it not the right time? Is there something else I need to do? I need to find out. Is there a skill I'm missing? Is there a person I need to talk to? And then the other thing is getting yourself in alignment in terms of your vibration. And the book Eat That Frog, which just sounds so disgusting and gross to me. Like, who wants to eat a frog, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, that repels me. So that's the sort of an older paradigm, and that masculine paradigm of pushing through it and struggling through it, and you know, making it, yes, I can do this, which is great in some areas. Some people love that kind of thing, but for me it just totally repels me. I prefer much more ease and flow. So one of the things I think with procrastination is to get yourself feeling good about it, or how can I make this more fun, how can I make this more enjoyable. So are there things that you do, Claire, to sort of, if you think of something that you really don't like doing? Just
tell you what, if you could see the rest of this room, that would see it. And I think it's just been something also. I can be a bit messy for other people around me, which drives my husband absolutely posse. But I just have piles here, there, and everywhere. There's piles of paper on the floor. There's piles of paper because I've got a few big projects on at the moment, and so I kind of get to the end of the day and I think, oh no, I need to get home because I need to eat, or I need to do this, I need to do that, and so I leave it. I don't touch it, but then it kind of just gradually builds up, and then leaves me feeling really cluttered, disorganized, anxious. So when I clean up, when I tidy up, I feel clear and calm. But I will not do that during the day. I'm like, oh, I'll do it another time, or I'm gonna do that instead.
Some of the things that I like to do to make it so, one of the questions yourself, because you know it's there, and clutter is a big thing, I think, for people. Cluttered desk, a cluttered room, a cluttered closet. It can become very overwhelming very quickly. So that's another reason we procrastinate, is overwhelm. It just feels too much, or we think it's going to be harder than it is. So a question to ask yourself, instead of focusing, oh my God, this is just, I've got to do this, but it's just too much. Okay, so how can I make this more enjoyable? How can I make this how can I make this easier? And one thing we all know is, you know, step by step, doing one thing at a time. But one of my favorite things to do, if it's possible for you, is to put music on. You know, if you've got headphones, get some music on. One of the things, instead of pushing yourself to get it done, and yes, there's the lovely thing of rewarding yourself afterwards, but to make yourself feel good prior to that, if you really are procrastinating and it's really, you know it needs to get done, but you have a choice to really struggle around it and push yourself through it, or I want to do it because this is how I'm going to feel afterwards. Clear, spacious. And then what's the impact of that? How's that going to impact me if I clear that clutter, or if I do that recording, or if I write my resume, or whatever it might be? What is the potential impact of that? And then write that down, so you're focusing on the positive elements of it, which will help raise your vibration and your frequency. so that you can then actually do something about it, because you feel that you're actually in a better space. And if you're really not there, you can shift the energy on something else. And this also relates to being stuck as well.
Yeah.
Shift the energy somewhere else. Play with your dog, like Enzo, you know, a mascot, you know, have a cuddle and play with your dog, go for a walk, do something that you enjoy doing first,
Yeah. Well,
rather than push through it.
and I wonder, so what was coming up for me when you were talking is, yeah, actually we just get so addicted to busyness and action oriented, and so you kind of go, right, what's urgent, what's important? So cleaning up, not important. But actually, it's a huge time saver. It's a huge relief, and actually, we don't need to fill my entire day with action, 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 action. It's not a natural order of things.
And a lot of people are in that action orientated all day. So many clients don't know how to relax. They don't know how to slow down and create that space. And that creates more overwhelm, which then creates feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a client the other day, and I helped her with a migraine, and she had it the day before, and she said, I didn't know what to do. I was trying to read even, which is something but I couldn't do that, or I felt I should do something and push myself through the migraine. And I said, do you think maybe that the migraine's trying to slow you down? And it wasn't a bad migraine, but what she ended up doing is actually having a nap. But then she judged herself for having that nap, because she shouldn't be having a nap, because she should be always on the go.
It's like, was it go slow to go fast, isn't it?
Yeah, or slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you talk a lot about really understanding the procrastination and the source of the procrastination. How do you start to identify the difference between procrastination and kind of really listen to the alarm call for you're starting to get stuck now? How do you explore that?
That's a good question, and it takes practice, and it does take space, because we all have the answers within us. We all have our bodies will tell us. So very much, it's finding yourself a quiet space and asking the question, what is keeping me? This is a better question. What do I need to do in this moment to either stop procrastinating on this particular thing? And it's hard to hear it, but you will get the answer. So it may be there's a belief system there, there's an inner narrative that's keeping you stuck. And just notice the first thought that comes to mind. And if you're really tired, that moment is not the time to do the thing that you think you should be doing. So it's listening to that, and you might go and you feel your way into it. Is it the right time? What do I need to learn? What do I need to know? Sometimes we need clarity, because we don't even know what direction we need to take. So as you said before, we're busy with the busy, and sometimes the busy with the busy isn't serving us. So it's gaining clarity of, okay, well, why do I think I should be doing this? And is it just something that I think I should be doing because it's helping improve my value, or I'm going to get other people's approval, I'm proving myself? Or is it something that's actually going to serve me?
Yeah.
And then, and what do I need to do? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to go and do something completely different? And ask those questions. Is the timing right? And you might go, if it's right, you'll lean forward.
Yeah.
So it's really being conscious, and that does take practice. And it also takes guidance as well. Sometimes it helps to talk these things through with, not with, but with somebody that knows, that's a bit of an expert on it,
Yeah.
that can help you shine the light on it, that can help you see the truth of it, that can help you move through that. What is it that lies beneath that procrastination? Is it
Yeah.
you're in a narrative, or is it the wrong time? Is there something you need to learn? Is there somebody you need to talk to? Is there something you need to research?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then stuckness is a little bit different there with the questions. So as we said earlier, stuckness is patterns that keep repeating.
Yeah.
And you when you feel stuck, you feel stuck. Because it's frustrating, you might feel confused, you certainly could feel fed up, unhappy, just that ants in your pants.
Yeah. Well, and that will relate to many people on the call today. So, kind of when I think about times that I've been stuck, it's my high achiever that comes through that kind of just makes me feel, oh, what am I doing here? I need to be there. Or it's some of those elements around pleasing others and serving others around me, and it starts to feel like an obligation, and then the resentment starts to come in if and then you don't realize that you're stuck at that point because you just got all these negative emotions. But yeah, so how would you what questions would you ask yourself then?
One, what is it that I really want? Again, so around clarity, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? Where do I want to go? What's the direction I want to go in? Another good question is, how long have I actually been stuck? How long have I been, again, bringing that consciousness, being conscious about the subconscious? How long have I been stuck? Because that will give you a good idea of whether you need external assistance. Because if you've been stuck for a long time, some could be stuck for a few months, 6 months, a year, and even years, that are either stuck in a relationship, that are stuck in their business, that are stuck in their career, that are stuck in those habits of, the self-doubt and the lack of confidence. And what you'll notice is the same things that keep, as you said before, the same things, the same patterns keep coming up for you. So where do I want to be? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to feel? Ask yourself, how long have I felt like this? How long have I been in this situation? And
sorry.
Yeah, go on. No, go on.
I was going to say, and what comes through around that for relationships, especially, and it's patterns that I see increasingly, is there's sometimes we project our stuck feelings and our judgments on ourselves and where we should be on other people, particularly close partners or close relationships. It's like all their fault, whereas actually you've not been honest with you and what you want in order to bring that honesty to the table. But instead it's them, it's not you that you need to express, and you have much more power to express is step forward. And so sometimes in an effort to become unstuck, we make a radical action, but we don't actually realize that it wasn't just the other person that kept us stuck.
Yes, because a lot of the time it is what's going on in our minds that keep us stuck. And none of us, well, maybe a couple, but none of us are real mind readers. And to express that is really key. So that's a good point to make, is so another question is, how can I take the steps to become unstuck? What is it I need to do? What do I need to express? Who do I need to talk to? Do I need to express my how I'm feeling to my partner, to my boss, to my parents, whatever the situation is? What is it I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? And breaking it down into smaller pieces. And really, if we don't know where we're going, if we don't know what we want, then we will be stuck, or we'll always be stuck, because there's no, it's like knowing you want, it's knowing you want to be somewhere, but you don't know where you want to be in terms of physical travel. So you're never going to get there because you don't actually know where you want to be. When you know where you want to be, so you want to be in Devon, the UK, and you want to be in a specific place, and then you drill down to that. So this is the area I want to be in. So I want to be in Devon, and then I want to be in Plymouth, and then I want to be on this particular beach or the harbour. So by knowing and drilling down exactly where you want to be, then gives you focus and direction. And then the next question is, well, how do I get there? And what are the tools I need to get there? I need, and resources. I need a car, so I need some form of transport. I need a map, possibly, or a timetable. So it's drilling down into what is it that's going to help you move forward. And if you're really, really stuck, again, that question, what do I need to do in this moment to move some energy? There's Enzo. Hello. For those that can't see, Claire's got our podcast mascot on her lap, Enzo. He's just the cutest dash hand. So if you want to see him, you have to go over to our YouTube channel and have a look, because he's adorable. And actually, that's wonderful, because when you are stuck and you ask that question, what do I need to do now to start moving energy? So it doesn't necessarily have to be moving energy on that particular thing that you feel stuck in. It could be moving energy in anything. So playing with your dog, playing with your puppy is moving energy. It's, instead of having that heavy feeling of I'm stuck and it's all too much and I don't know where to start, moving the energy somewhere else and lifting your vibration. By lifting your vibration, and I would say that's your number one priority if you want to create that ease and that flow. And when I'm talking about flow, I'm talking about if you're flowing with the river. So you're just allowing the river to take you, rather than fighting against the river. So if you want to ease and flow, your number one priority is you feeling good and raising your frequency, raising your vibration. So what in that moment is going to make you feel good? It might be playing with your dog. It might be going for a walk. It might be playing music. Our bodies are made to move. So physically move your body as well.
Yeah. Well, and when you talk about the energy, I think kind of from within a work context or a business context, sometimes I'll look at my to-do list and I'll deliberately look for little jobs that are maybe 5-10 minutes, just for the satisfaction of like, yes, I've got that done. Yes, I've got that done. Right. Okay. I've got that done. I've got that done. Because it does create more flow, and it does lift you.
And what you're actually doing there is you're creating dopamine, which is one of those feel-good hormones. So that gamification, when you're a gamer, and a lot of courses and programs and things are around gamification, it's one of the reasons that kids and adults get addicted to playing games is because they know exactly how the brain works and how to release dopamine. And that ticking off your checklist is a mini release of dopamine. That's why there's all the and the rewards that you get in games as you move from one level to another is releasing dopamine. So you become addicted to that dopamine release. But you can use it in a healthy way with your, like you say, and that's by doing the smaller things, the easier things first. That's why that frog doesn't resonate with me. You kind of building your way up to it, and you're lifting yourself, and you're creating a feel good energy. And then you're like, yes, I'm in a much better place now to then do that, or to look at where I'm stuck and see what the next step is. And also when you're in that high vibe alignments, when you're in that high vibe, energy, you're feeling really good, and your vibration is, yes, lots of positive energy, that's when you start manifesting. That's when things start coming to you and
Mm,
happening, and people start reaching out to you. And yes, there's actions that you need to take. You don't just sit back and wait for it to
mm,
happen, but your vibration and your energy of feeling good is
yeah.
absolutely key to moving forward.
Yeah, I love that, and you reminded me of the interview that I did with Dawn Richard around love relationships. That was back in February, and we were talking about kind of long term relationships and being the partner you want to have. And sometimes there's elements of role modeling, sometimes there's elements of um, not serving, but kind of getting out of your head and supporting the person that you're with. But what you described there in terms of lifting your vibration, actually that does affect the people around you, and you start to see their shift.
Hmm.
So it can be, it can lead to this positive virtuous circle where
Hmm.
you're both a bit more attracted to each other, or you're a bit more, kind of you're shifting your habits together, or you're shifting your patterns of behavior, or you're going for that walk together. You're
Hmm.
not moaning so much.
Hmm.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, you're actually creating a vortex of energy.
yeah.
um and a lot of people are very much more open than they used to be, because when you walk into a room and somebody's just had a big argument, or you feel it,
Mm,
it feels uncomfortable. I always like, when you walk into a house, if you're buying a house and you walk into a
yeah,
house, you get a sense of that house, and you're like, oh no, and or oh yeah, loving this. And you're
yeah,
picking up on, yes, the aesthetic of it, but you're also picking up on the energy as well.
yeah,
um so yes, you make an important point in terms of where you put your focus in. Being When you feel stuck, you get to choose where you put your focus. And your focus, one of the things to create that higher energy and that high vibe, is gratitude. So if you feel like you're stuck in a job, or you're stuck in a career, you're stuck in your career, or your job, your relationship, start to focus on actually what that's bringing to you.
yeah,
I've worked with quite a few people that have been stuck in relationships, and really heavy relationships, and they're not sure, should I stay or should I go?
yeah,
And by focusing on being looking for things that they feel grateful for, where they are now, what's working for you now, is another good question to ask. And then start focusing on those positives and feeling grateful for those positives. It does shift that energy for everybody. And it may be that you're in a toxic relationship, and it may be that they're such a negative person, or they're toxic, or they're a narcissist, and
yeah,
you're not going to affect them enough.
yeah,
But you're moving the energy. And when we're moving energy, when we're moving forward, when we're creating, and that's another aspect of getting unstuck, is getting into your creative zone. But when you're moving energy and you're moving forward on anything, you're then in the same energy of the universe, because the universe is constantly moving. We're on a planet that's constantly moving. So by us moving as well and shifting some energy somewhere, you literally have the power of the universe and the energy of that creating momentum.
yeah. That's so very very true. Um, in terms of the steps you take then to become unstuck, kind of what, just fill that down for us. What 3 steps would you recommend for people?
I think one, being aware of why you're stuck, and that inner narrative, and looking at whether that's true or not. But again, it's similar to procrastination, but going deeper. What is it, as I said, what is it you really want? So when you determine, you gain clarity of what is it you really want, how, by you moving forward, by you changing the situation, how is that going to affect you? How's that going to really impact you?
Mm,
And go deep with this and write it down. And how is it going to impact your loved ones? I'll go back to a relationship again. If you're with somebody and you're really unhappy, they're the natural the natural energy of that is they're going to be unhappy too. So by you staying in that relationship because you don't want to upset them or hurt anybody or disappoint anybody, you're actually holding that person back from being with somebody that can actually give them the love, and you're not receiving that love either.
Yeah.
So how is you moving forward? Focus on how is that going to impact you positively?
Yeah.
What are the benefits of you doing it? What is on the other side of that? How are you going to feel? How could and usually being stuck is something that's quite big. So it's usually something that will help transform your life. So go drill down and look at, how is this going to impact me daily? How is this going to impact me next? Where is this? If I do this now, or if I start moving forward and doing this now, where will it take me? Where will I be potentially in a year's time, in 2 years' time? And also a good question to ask is, well, if I continue doing what I'm going to do, then I'm just going to be exactly where I am now next year. This time next year, do you want to be where you are now this time next year? So focusing on the outcomes. Okay, if I do that, what are the possibilities? What is the potential? And you take the focus off the inner negative narrative and you put it on where you want to be. It is important to be aware of that narrative, because again, you can ask, is that true? Is that really a belief that I believe?
Or that serves me?
Yes, or that serves me. And you get to make a choice. The other thing that you can do is, again, focus on feeling good. Focus on raising your vibration. So by getting into alignment, getting into your zone, you will naturally help things move forward. Seeking expert advice and assistance. If you've been stuck for a long time, is it time for you to actually invest in yourself to live the dream or the aspirations that you want, you want to feel happy and fulfilled, you want to flourish, you want to feel good about yourself? Maybe it's time to seek somebody that can actually help you get there, guide you to get there. And one of the things to help you. So I think the number one thing about when you're stuck, well, actually, there's 3 things. One is to know where you're going. Break it down step by step. And focusing on feeling good. That would be your number one. Focus on feeling good. Create that space. Leave room for your betters to happen, which means you're not holding on to a specific outcome too tightly, because when you do that, you're squashing it. Focusing on your vibration, focusing on you feeling good, but feeling good from a heart-centered point of view, not just pretending you feel good. And look at things step by step. And, what is it I need to do next? And keep asking, what do I need to do next? How do I feel good in this moment? Who do I need to talk to?
When we started the interview, I introduced you as, this being probably one of your mastermind topics, because I know that one of the things you're most passionate about, and one of your areas of genius, is around helping women who are stuck or who are overwhelmed. And I think there's been some real gems within our conversation. But I want to ask you, what can people do? what can people do if they want to explore this topic further?
If they can connect with me,
Yep.
I think one, and I just want to touch on one more thing. So we're talking a lot about the inner narrative,
Yep.
which comes from lack of self-worth, lack of self-belief, self-doubt, and not feeling worthy enough. So one of the things that's so key around unstucking yourself is to really connect with who you truly are, who you are beyond all those layers and barriers that we put up to keep
Yep.
ourselves self-safe, to protect ourselves. So by tuning into who you really are, you gain a sense of self-worth and a sense of self-love. Because if you don't feel worthy and you don't have a sense of self-love, it's almost like you don't feel like you deserve that element of fulfillment and happiness and joy and love and abundance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's sort of what really is the deepest underlying hidden things that keep us stuck. So there's so many hidden things. So one of the things that's so key is bringing awareness to those hidden things, and that's where you need somebody. That's where you need an expert that can help you. So if you resonate with this, feel free to reach out to me. You'll get a example of a coaching set, or you'll actually experience a coaching session.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be doing those for much longer. Those free complimentary coaching sessions, because I want to work with people that are really ready to go. So those will be very ad hoc in the future. But for the moment, I'm still offering it. And it will give you an experience of help you gain clarity, help you realize what what you want, and awarenesses of what's keeping you stuck and the hidden beliefs and obstacles. And also you'll gain some powerful guidance to help you transform some of those hidden beliefs in just one call. So what I offer is truly transformative, and you can work with me 6 months or a year. So yeah, we'll have a conversation with me to see if I can help you.
And kind of you hold that container so well for people to have the courage to really be honest and examine what's going on. And I think kind of what you do really well, Jen, is you encourage that, and you encourage people to make a truly sustainable shift in terms of their well-being and in terms of their direction. And so for any listener, this is not some kind of
I find this on the web for encourage people to make a truly sustainable shift in terms of their well-being and hence the direction. So funny, listener. Good out.
Thank you. But what you do, I'm sure we've just broken copyright laws there. But what you do is
Couldn't really hear it.
Okay. What you do is that's not a gimmick. That's not a giveaway. That's not a throwaway. That is a conversation that is hugely valuable. In my experience, Jen is not a hard sell person. Like,
no.
Her guidance and wisdom comes from a spirit of generosity and deep wisdom. So do take out that offer, really, really do, because kind of in this topic of stuck, that investment of time and then any kind of subsequent investment of time or resources would be hugely beneficial. So on that note, wow, it's helped people move forward. It's been so good to see you, and I can't wait to dive into some of the other areas of this topic. We've got a conversation coming up in terms of the workplace, and also again, kind of whose energy is keeping you stuck, or whose vibe is keeping you stuck, because sometimes it's not even you. But for now, thanks guys for joining us. If you like what you've heard, then you know what to do. Like, listen, subscribe, share, bring anybody else on our journey, and and take care of yourself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.